Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, germs and bacterium. It's Peter back with another episode of Tangent Talk. I took a break from last week because I just wanted to take a break because I was tired and finals are coming up. But as promised, I do have the guest who I said I would have last week. It is, you can say your first name, you can say your last name with your last name, or just your first
Okay,
name.
hi, I'm Dara.
This is Dara.
Yay.
This would be so weird. But like this is episode 2 with Cameron from Compo Note. This is his girlfriend. So
Yes.
I think I mentioned on that episode. Did I? Because you listened to it.
Yeah, I did.
And I was like, I think I want to have her on. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
It's like you're in luck, man.
And the reason why, let's just jump right into it. Is you have like the weirdest, in a good way, the weirdest like approachable personality, and we talked about this
Really?
very briefly when we had me and her. Well, it was supposed to be like an hour conversation. It turned to like 2.5. Like a previous one because I don't know Dara very well, but she has like the most approachable personality, and it's very strange.
Really?
Yes.
I heard you talking about my face, and it looked
Yes,
like an approachable
yes, it was
face.
you. My friend Chandler is dating this guy, and he has not the same face as you, but gives off the same like vibe. You just have very approachable personalities and faces.
That makes me really happy to hear. That's interesting.
And you said, do you remember when I told you that? Do you remember where you said you got it from?
Oh yeah, my mom.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is like a nature or a nurture sort of thing.
Could be both.
But when she talks to people, she just, even if they are just spouting off the most bullshit thing you've ever heard in your life, she just has like the kind of face that like she'll nod, she'll make eye contact, and she makes them feel like the most important person in the world. So I like to emulate that. I like to make other people feel like that. So I like to listen. I like to hear what other people say.
Yeah, you're going to like if you go into like we're going more into advertisement, but like if you ever need to do a board meeting, like I'm sure you're gonna be their go-to. I'm not even kidding, because you just have like that weird like I don't know, like it was okay. To put in an example, I barely knew Dara, but like I've always had a really big passion for music, and I just started telling her all about like my passions for music and stuff. Like, not I never really have done anything with it, but like I just told her, and she was like, yeah, like I think you should do it. And like now, kind of looking back, I don't think music's ever gonna be like I just don't think we're ever gonna find the see eye to eye. So I haven't said I haven't given up on it, but I that's not what I'm focusing on in my life right now. And speaking of, I mentioned your major,
Yes.
so do marketing, right? No, advertisement.
Advertising.
But
Marketing is more math stuff, and
Yeah.
I want to stay as far away from that as I can. So, advertising.
Yeah, advertising, but you're like working in tandem with like global studies.
Yes, I'm double majoring in global studies and advertising, and I'm minoring in Spanish because my major requires a foreign language minor.
Global studies, right?
Yes.
I was like, advertising probably doesn't.
Yeah.
Jeez. What? So it's weird having to ask these questions over
No,
again.
you're good.
But like, why? Well, what are you planning on doing with your major? Because I thought it was very interesting.
So when I came here, I was really into foreign languages and cultures, which I still am, but global studies kind of encompass that because for the major, it's required you have to study abroad and you have to minor in a foreign language.
Oh, I didn't know you had to. That's cool.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I chose that. But I went to the major meeting at the beginning of the year, and it was just like telling us about like what you can do with the major, and they were like, you can go anywhere you want to with this major. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. Like, what can I do when I get there? And they're like, you can go anywhere. And I'm like, that still doesn't answer my question.
It's not applied.
Yeah, so I think right off the bat, I knew that I had to have something else in tandem with global studies. And advertising, I took a comm class, the very basic one, this semester, and I really liked it. And I started looking into the focus areas like within communications.
Yeah, communications is weird like that. There's communications, but there's bunches of branches, and they're not just concentrations. They're literally whole degrees.
Yeah. And I was looking at the advertising one, and I'm into artsy stuff too, but I also like to have that like intellectual academic sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And advertising, it literally says it's creative and business, and you don't need like some of the ones like that, like graphic design or something. You need like a business minor for it, and I think it's like graphic design management or something like that.
Yes, my friend down the hall is taking that.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do business or anything like that. So advertising is what I went with, and after I chose that, I was like, okay, well, with this I can do ad campaigns in different countries, and like if a company from here was looking to expand into international markets, then I could sort of be in charge of that.
Like an ambassador.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people in the global studies major, they want to work for nonprofits, which is great. That's good for them, but I don't want to do that.
Which you're not murking
like,
on them. Like, you're not saying I'm better than them.
Yeah. That's awesome, but I want to work in the private sector.
Yeah. It's funny. My dad works for, he is working for a company from that is recently it's actually located in a different country, and they went over to America. They're opening sectors there, and he's the manager for the Southeast chapter.
Oh, cool! Yeah, that's something I'd want to do.
So he could hire you.
Yeah. Like these stupid Americans, you don't know how this culture works. Let me teach you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if I could do that.
So, and study. Do you have any plans of where you're gonna study abroad?
Well, since my minor is Spanish, I wanted to go somewhere that speaks Spanish. I went a country that speaks Spanish. You know what I mean?
No.
I already went to Costa Rica.
Which my dad, I'm not even kidding, just came back from.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he like it?
He's been there a few times.
Oh, okay.
He sent me a picture with absolutely no context.
Does he have a lot of free time there, or is it just all business when he goes?
He works a hobby job and an actual job, and this was for his hobby job.
Oh, cool.
Here, it's a terrible picture, but
pretty.
that's him from. He literally said that no context. But yeah, you were in Costa Rica.
Yes. That experience, we stayed with host families. It was a little more casual, and it wasn't as urban.
This wasn't for college. This was high school, right?
Yeah, it was high school, and it was really short too. So obviously, I can't say I hate Costa Rica. It was a great experience. I loved it, but I think for the next study abroad experience, I want something more structured, more academic, staying in a dorm at a sister school or something in a city.
Apparently, because I was just out of study, I just came back from a study abroad meeting 3 hours ago. Apparently, Spain is a big one for especially business majors. So
yeah, I'm thinking about Spain, and I have a friend. She grew up in Barcelona. She moved here when she just started high school, and hearing her talk about it, Barcelona sounds cool. I really want to go there.
Yeah, that's. I have never Spain is I know it sounds weird, but Spain's the one country I don't care about in Europe.
Really?
I don't know why. I've just always kind of found it boring.
Really?
Spain is I guess a lot of my knowledge for whatever reason of Europe is a lot of its war history. And I'm not even a big war fan.
Yeah.
No one is, but a war buff. But it's just Spain.
I'm a fan of war. What do you mean?
But Spain's always kind of just sat out and just for one reason or another, either because they were corrupt or pussies. Not to how dare you not engage in war, but
all your listeners from Spain are so offended right now.
All of them, all 0 of them. If you're from Spain, leave a like in the comments.
Can you check the demographics of who watches your videos? Oh my God.
It's all Americans, and I'm pretty sure they're all my friends, or friends of friends, like you. Well, now, but So tell me about Costa Rica,
It was really fun. We stayed with a host family.
Right.
My host mom, she was so sweet. She was crying when I left. It was really sad. It was awesome. We went to a high school when we were there to help them with their English because we were there to help with our Spanish skills, so they needed help with their English. So we talked to a bunch of kids our age, and we exchanged Snapchats, and a big app that they use down there is WhatsApp. Which is
WhatsApp
texting.
is a huge international one.
They basically only use that. So we all downloaded it too, and I started talking to this one guy. His English name is Gabe, so we'll call him Gabe.
Gabriel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know my Spanish name. My Spanish name is Pedro.
Oh, hey, my Spanish name is just Dara. It's just pronounced wrong, so...
Not wrong.
Well,
how dare you? Insensitive.
Okay, alright.
Oh my god, dude. Fuck!
Well, if, substitute teachers call me, Dara, I'm
Yeah, but that's different. They're not saying it in Spanish.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm so used to, that being, the wrong pronunciation when people in, Spanish, they say Dara, I'm I'll let it slide. It's okay.
But, so Dara...
I don't know who you're referring to.
Who? Oops.
My name's Dara. I don't know who that is.
So, Gabrielle.
Yes. So, we started chatting. It was just friendly stuff. And then, at least that's how I saw it. I saw it as friendly, banter. Then when I got on the plane to leave, I open up my phone. I see that I have a message from him. I'm like, oh, what is it? He has sent me a picture of Disney princess-themed engagement rings. And he says, which one do you want?
Yes.
And I was like... What? And he was like, I kind of want to marry you, girl. And I was like, his English was really good. I'll give him that. But It was just
a
so...
panty dropper, dude.
Yeah, I was so appalled to read that when I got off the plane. I'm back in America. I was like, this guy just proposed to me, and I knew him for like 30 minutes. I met in person with him 30 minutes, and then
oh my god,
we're talking for a couple days, and then he just says that.
Maybe he was just like trying to like be charming.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know, like when you say Disney princess themed engagement rings, all I can think about are like, you know, when you go to Walmart and you buy cupcakes, and they have the fucking rings.
Yeah, like the plastic one.
It's literally what it sounded like. I was like, Disney princess themed engagement rings, like the cupcake
No,
ones?
like the ones you see on Pinterest, like the Ariel theme, like the Belle theme.
I mean,
you've never seen that?
Don't you have a thing for Disney princesses? I think you told me that.
No.
Who told me that? Whatever.
I mean, I like Disney. I don't have like a thing for it.
Someone I know, I get mixed up with people, has like a thing like for Disney princesses.
I
know who it is.
It's not me.
It's not important.
Maybe it's Dara. Maybe
I think it is Dara. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't like oh, like I want to marry you, haha. Like my friend Caitlin, who was also on the trip, she was like, Gabrielle keeps on like Snapchatting me, like asking you like, why aren't you answering? I'm like, oh
shit.
My god.
Oh,
like,
so it wasn't him trying to be charming.
Yeah, we went at the end of March, beginning of April.
Yeah.
And then my birthday's in June, and so is his birthday, I think. But my friend Caitlin, we met up like sometime late June, and she was like, yeah, Gabrielle texted me. He was like upset that you didn't wish him a happy birthday, and I was like, we haven't talked in months. Like, what the fuck?
Did you talk to any of the people from Costa Rica still?
There's one guy, Jose, who there wasn't like a thing, but I think he was interested because he walked me home. Like, we were all hanging out, like the high schoolers from there and here. We were all hanging out, and then I asked him where the bathroom was, and we were kind of chatting a little bit, and then he offered to walk me home, and he did, and when we got there, he was just, like, kind of standing as if something was gonna happen, and me being the awkward American I am, I just closed the gate and said, buenas noches, bye, see you later. I have him on Snapchat still. He's with someone else, and they're very happy together. We don't talk, but I see his stories. So.
I have a bunch of those people. Like
just, like, don't
never talk. Well, weirdly enough, a bunch of like, I don't want to call them exes, but like flings that never came to pass.
Okay.
So, and I just have a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3.
I have some of those from my Tinder and Bumble days. Oh my god, I have a really embarrassing story about Tinder.
I was literally gonna say, well, let's just go into
This is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me. So, the Global Studies major meeting that I was talking about before, there's this guy, should I say his name? He goes here.
Don't.
Okay.
We'll give him a fake name. His name is Mark. Let's hope it's not really Mark.
Okay, his name isn't Mark. We're good. So, Mark came up to me and my friends at the Global Studies meeting, and he just introduced himself, and I didn't really think anything of it. My friends were like, oh, he's cute. I didn't really think that he was, but no offense, Mark. You're great.
Do you have his picture?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, no. I only know him. I got his Tinder, and then we were texting. We weren't Snapchatting. He blocked me on Tinder.
Oh shit!
So, yeah. Well, this is
spoilers.
I don't blame him. So he introduces himself, so I like kind of knew who he was. So then the semester actually starts. We get our classes. He's in one of my classes. He sits in the very back, and I'm in the front, so I like never interact with him. I didn't talk to him after the meeting, but we matched on Tinder. And we started talking, and he invited me to go out for ice cream. I think so. We went.
Right.
We went on King Street Creamery. We went there. You know, like when you're talking to somebody and you just like know there's nothing there, and you're just kind of like reading from a script, and it's like one of the things he did. Like whenever I would say something funny, instead of laughing, he would say "yo." Like, instead of laughing like a normal person, you just go, yo, that's funny. And I was like, if it's funny, why aren't you laughing? Yeah.
Force a laugh.
Yeah. So, we finished our ice cream. I know there's nothing there. I think he's still kind of grasping at straws, and I'm just not really feeling it. So he's like, hey, do you want to go to this park? It's by my house. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, sure.
Oh.
So we walked to this shady-looking park. I say...
Is it Jimmy Smith?
No. It was just like this fenced-in area, probably about like maybe the 2 sizes of this room, like if you had 2 in this room put together. It was just that there was a single swing set with like 2 swings on it. So we were just sitting on the swings, swinging, and Oh my god, I was trying so hard to figure out just like how to leave. I didn't want to be there. It was so awkward.
Oh no.
So then I'm like, I should probably head back. Like I have homework, and he gets up and he puts his hand on my shoulder.
No.
And he says, "You have something on your face," and I was like, "What?" And I turned.
No.
No, I know it's so embarrassing. I'm like, my heart rate. Oh my god, I'm sweating just reliving this. So his hand is on my shoulder. He puts his hand like he like does a little like thing. He makes me look at him. Oh my god! And then he leans in. But here's the thing: before this interaction, I never had a boyfriend. I never kissed anyone. So in my mind, I was thinking, this is not the way it's gonna go down. I cannot let this man put his lips on my face. I can't let it happen. So I take my shirt and I go, "I'm sorry," and I cover my face. My neck, it retracts like a fucking turtle. I do not let this man's lips touch my face. I do not.
I mean, whatever you gotta do.
That's not the worst part.
Okay.
So I just say like, "I'm sorry," like it takes me a while to get to know someone like that. And he was like, no, he was really sweet about it. He was like, no, that's okay. Like, I totally understand. And so we're walking, and it's pretty awkward because I just rejected his advances.
Unfortunately.
And me, I like to talk to people. I don't like to be on bad terms with anyone.
Of course.
So the thing I say to like kind of segue into conversation is, "Are you ready for the quiz on Monday?" And I never saw him again.
Not even in class?
I mean, he sat in the back, I sat in the front.
So you never had to see him?
I zip-lined out of there every time. Yeah. Very awkward. So...
Well, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
All the other guys that I've ever been with, I've basically been, like, told off. Not even a bad way, but just, like, they clocked me on something, or I clocked them.
Really?
Yeah. First guy I ever dated for, like, we only dated for 3 days. Mm-hmm. We were on that bed. Not, like, that.
Oh,
we sat on that bed to watch TV.
Isn't that your roommate's bed?
Yeah, he was cool with it.
Oh, okay.
He was going home for the weekend.
Okay.
So, I told him, like, we're not doing anything. Like,
we're not doing anything.
He, like, the guy aptly said, like, "Oh, I honestly think you're just more into the idea of me, like, you're into some body, but not some no-space buddy. Like, somebody."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I think he was right. And he never spoke again. Still have him on Snapchat. Second guy, I told off because he has a lot of issues to work with. Mm-hmm. He would say, like, things like, the old me is, like, dead. Like, oh, but I'm like, my issues are, like, the issues I had I no longer deal with when, like, they're very clearly haunting him.
Yeah.
I know he went through a lot of, well, I don't know what, but, like, he made it sound like he went through some really bad stuff. But I'm like, I don't think you're dealing with healthily. And he had, like, and I think I told you this when we were talking before, but he was that guy who was, like, I hate saying this, but, like, he was actually insecure about his masculinity. And it's annoying because I'm like, dude, like, I'm very, like, whatever about it, but, like, he didn't like me saying, like, I didn't even mean it in any sort of way. He was like, I don't like you saying, like, oh, you're gonna take me out to somewhere after dinner or whatever. I'm like, I'm saying it because you're not coming up with any plans.
Yeah,
like,
what the heck?
I'm not gonna say you should take me out to such and such place because, first of all, like, I'm not like that. I'm not needy. Like, and it was like we were talking over the phone because it was over Christmas break. And he goes here. He's also friends with this girl who is below me, who I actually have a story in tandem with that, but the last guy. Well, not the last guy.
Wait, this isn't the first floor?
There's a basement floor that's halfway.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, he's friends with her, and, like, we never got to interact, thank God, but, like, one time he was over, apparently, with this girl who lives on my floor, because they're all friends, and, like, I, like, literally almost collided with him because he was around the corner, and I was like, oh.
Oh my God.
Okay, hi.
Oh,
and
he
literally did the most awkward thing ever, and I kind of felt like, because he kind of he pissed me off, like, because he didn't get it when I told him, like, I told him all this because I said, I don't feel comfortable talking to you anymore, and then he asked why, and when people say why, especially when I'm lucky enough to say it over the phone, I'll tell them why. I wasn't mean about it, but I know he was awkward about it, so I definitely was mean about it, because later that day I saw them all at Central, and I definitely, like, slid over and, like, talked to the girl, and basically, like, I shouldn't have done that, but I don't regret it. Because, like, he kind of did tick me off, and he was really attractive. He really is, so he just...
Meanwhile.
We had nothing in common, too. Like, I don't know, I was kidding. And then... Oh! Meanwhile, you remembered!
Yeah. That's funny. I want to use that.
Meanwhile's good. And then the third guy, he rightfully told me off, which I will not tell the story, but I did the worst thing I've ever done in my life. To him. By accident. It wasn't, like, purposeful.
Did you kill him?
No. My friends are all like, it's not even a bad thing. Like, I mean, it's a mistake, but, like, you're whatever, like
you live and you learn.
it was a mistake, and I was like, yeah, but I really hurt him, and I didn't mean to do that,
Mhm.
sort of deal. But that girl, my first kiss.
With a girl?
No.
Oh.
Well, it was at a. I'll leave out the details, but it was at a party,
Mhm.
and me and a bunch of people from our hall went, and the girl who lives below us. It was both her and my 19th birthday. So we went to a house party, and this guy who lives across from me, he's the only other dude who's into dudes. He's bisexual. But, like, we would never... Neither one of us are into each other like that. And we made out. Because I was like, Caleb... Because it was a... Without saying it, it was a party. I was partying. And I was like, Caleb, it's my 19th birthday. Would you kiss me? He goes like, yeah, I guess. And so we kissed. And then it turned into a lot of kissing with a lot of different people.
Oh, gee.
So yeah, apparently I turned into a thoughty at parties. But yeah. But let's talk about this. I wanted to talk about this because you mentioned it, and it was weird because like I never have many people who I can relate to on this. I mean, maybe you find yourself as more introverted, but you're more like easy to converse with than my friend who's also introverted and similarly related to me on this. But she doesn't. She's my friend and I love her. She's my best friend, but she's not very approachable.
Yeah.
If she listens to it, she gets so upset. But we were both apparently boy crazy. Coming into college. I mean, really wanting a relationship.
I don't know if it was that. I just felt like, well, I mean, it was, no. It definitely was some of that. It was just like everybody had already done stuff, and I was getting to college, and I was like, I felt so left out. I was like, literally everyone has like these experiences, and I'm 18 years old. I've never kissed anybody.
Yeah.
Like, what's with me? So I just felt like I had to like do something about it.
Wait, was your first kiss Cameron?
It was.
Oh.
Yeah. At first, it was really embarrassing because we were watching La La Land, and it was obviously really romantic, and we had just like confessed our feelings for each other that day, and he kept on leaning in, and I was like, I can't. Wait, what?
That's what happened with me and that guy.
Oh, really?
We were watching Lady Bird.
Oh, cute.
But he wasn't my first. He wasn't my first kiss.
Oh, okay.
But he was my first, not at a party kiss.
Okay.
So
the one that like counts. Kind of.
I count the one with.
Okay.
The dude, because I was still understanding what was going on.
Yes.
Anyways. La La Land.
It was just, oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed because I had never done it before, and I literally said that. I was like, I can't do it, and he was like, why? And I was like, I've never done it before, and he was like, listen, you just have to get it over with. Like, I'm not your creepy uncle. Like, get over here. And
That's
I was
so
like,
fucking Cameron.
it was good though. I like him a lot because he's just like kind of like pulls me out of my shell a little bit.
He was one of the people. A lot of the guys on my podcast, weirdly enough, are like, they're all like. I mentioned this literally right before we started recording about being gay back home. Even if I was very lucky, it was mostly not a bad deal. It was still a deal, and I felt weird. I felt almost more comfortable fitting into the stereotype of being gay and like the niche of it because it was safer, and so I was afraid of coming. But I wanted to change that, so I did everything in my power, even though I wasn't in the closet. But I did everything in my power not to seem like the old version of me.
Yeah.
And because that old version of me wasn't, I didn't feel like myself still. And Cameron was one of the dudes. Alex, because I recorded with my friend Alex, I'm pointing to the names. Alex, because I recorded with him, he was another. My friend Jordan, and I guess James to an extent. Previous episode James. They were just like people who like, guys don't fit into that stereotype. Like of a stereotype of what it is for you to do. Because Cameron has like. I'm sure you know. He like unironically likes Lady Gaga. And,
yeah,
like,
actually, I don't know Cameron that well. No, this is a joke.
I thought you were about to be like, you didn't know that?
No, that was a joke. Yeah, I know
like,
he likes Lady Gaga.
Probably unironically watched La La Land, which I need to watch because I love Emma Stone.
It's a good movie. I'm not really that into movies, but even I can tell that's a good movie.
I really do want to watch it. I've been watching House lately, so.
Wait, the show? Oh, okay.
That is literally one of the best shows of all time. And I hate medical stuff.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god. I love it. But anyways. It's so yeah. How are you and Cameron? Because Cameron can't trust him with it. I didn't actually ask much about it. I mean, you don't have to talk about especially because like I'm not jinxing anything, but like in 6 months, something happens. It might be weird to have something recorded about.
No, it's fine. We're really good right now. I don't know if I have like the authority to say this because I've never been in a relationship before, so I don't really know how it's supposed to work. But I feel like this is right. It feels right. So.
Yeah.
I think we're good. It's awesome.
I think if you don't have to question how your relationship is, it's probably going well.
Yeah.
Unless you're just completely oblivious.
Yeah, I'm never questioning it, so.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, he seems like, not even seems, I don't know him perfectly well. Like, I'm sure if he, like, listed off his top 5 friends here, I'm not one of them. That's just how it is. But, like, he doesn't seem like the type of person who's, like, a bad dude. Like,
No,
to lead you on or
he's
something.
awesome.
No. So, like, which is good. I, unfortunately, can't relate, but I'm coming to terms with it, like.
Wait, that you're not a great person? Wait, what?
That I'm not a, you know, it could change. Maybe I haven't met the right person, but that I'm not just a good person, at least right now, to be in a relationship with.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know what I'm doing, which I guess no one is, you know, especially you've been in a similar position. You don't necessarily know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't either, but
there's nothing wrong with taking time for yourself and becoming the best version of you before you're attaching yourself to somebody else.
And it's more like the problem is, even psychologically speaking, we can find this out, but men are just more they just move quicker. And when you're 2 dudes, y'all move really fucking quick. And that can be really bad because you just don't have that feminine balance where it's just like you will move forward and you guys will do stupid things and relationships are hard because like even me, even if I'm really honest, I don't think I let my emotions on very easily. I'm honest about everything, but I definitely downplay how I feel, both good and bad. So with dudes, it's just like I don't know how to open up emotionally to some guys, and I'm frustrated when guys can't do the same. Like even with information or with But I will never get rid of these. I have a lot of nitpicks with dudes. I can't stand dudes who. I mean, I'm fine. I don't think I could ever date someone who jewels.
Oh yeah,
but
no way.
Even worse is like guys on Tinder who have jewels in their mouths. Like who? What do you do? Like you clearly think that's presentable enough as a person. You think that having a nicotine addiction is a personality. It's not.
Wait, which is worse? People who have pictures of jewels in their mouths or the people who are shirtless holding their fish?
We don't have those. Gay dudes don't do that.
Oh, okay.
You'll have like
interesting.
a few of them, but like
I'm learning so much about
it's always the first picture is shirtless. So.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't know which you haven't, hopefully. Been on Tinder recently, but like they have the top picks. Were you around for that?
I don't think so.
Top picks was like it's like here are all the guys like remotely in your area, kind of, but especially in Boone, and especially with how much I've used Tinder, it's usually really far away, and like most of them are like, I mean I do like them, pasty white guys without shirts on. Look, no shirt.
Whoa.
Hey, they've changed. Oh wait, no, some of these are just pictures. Like this one, no, I thought he had one of these guys has no shirt on too. But it's kind of like I think you mentioned it. You're just like online dating just sucks. You didn't even meet Cameron through online dating.
No, I didn't. Yeah. It's just in-person interaction is so important. Like you can't tell who somebody is by texting them. I mean, texting is great when it's like working in tandem with like in person and everything. But I don't know. I think that's why I'm happy that it worked out with Cameron because we were friends first. We met in person because we met through Neil, his roommate. I'm in the language and culture RLC with him, so I knew Neil and I was good friends with Neil. So I like that we met organically. Not to say that through the internet isn't organic, but just
you didn't have to have like a forced connection. It's kind of a forced connection.
Because when you meet on there, it's like there's this expectation. And it's not. I'm not as like easygoing or anything because like it's not. Oh, what could this turn into? It's like either this is gonna be a relationship or it's not.
Exactly.
It's so much pressure. It's hard. I don't like it.
And I don't want to say I definitely have known more like I act like I know more about my like sexuality and how it works or whatever, but like it's not always the case. But like with gay dudes, like the whole like I don't think you can ever meet organically and not have that just like slight question where it's like, could we ever date?
Yeah.
Because it's just like the dating pool's so small. And it's just like, it kind of just is like, oh, could we ever date? And like, bisexual, that's why I don't like purposefully do it, but that's why I always be with bisexual dudes, because like they just are way chiller about it, just by nature of them being, you know, more natural with it. And because most of the gay dudes here are really obnoxious. So I understand, that organic thing, and I envy it because I don't think it'll ever happen until I turn like 24. Because I always imagine myself as like a person, an 19-year-old trying to date like a 24-year-old, where it's just like you naturally find someone.
Yeah.
Just don't work. And who knows? Maybe I'll be singing a different tune next year, but I'm not trying to beat myself up, you know.
For me, with like online dating, it was just I felt like whenever I would meet somebody in person, they were like looking for like a girlfriend, which makes sense, but like I felt like I had to like fit the mold of what they were looking for. So whenever I would like talk to someone, I would like kind of gauge their reaction and then try to like go down this path of what they were looking for.
Right.
I made it all about them, which is so stupid because I'm also looking.
A person.
Yeah, I'm also a person with like, I don't know, personality traits, I guess. I guess that's what people have. I don't know.
Yeah, and like you can't even do I'm gonna be real. You can't even go on any app and just be like, oh, I'm just looking for friends, because like we all know you're just looking for friends. Like eventually, like maybe you could have a relationship with someone. I don't. There's not one person I've like met on an app and like stayed friends with. Yeah. I don't think it could. Personally, with me, I don't think it could happen.
Because it's like one person like rejects the other one, right? And that's just like starting off a friendship like that is so awkward.
I think maybe as I go older, like as an older person, like I think it'll be more common where it's just like, oh, we've dated a few like I don't think it could start off where, oh, let's meet on an app and we'll just be friends. But I do think I could eventually I start dating someone and we just both realize it's not working out, but like we click well enough to be friends, maybe. But especially not now.
Yeah.
Relationships, they're hard.
Not for me.
Heck you. Heck you. Oh my god. Imagine 2019 like having a relationship and being happy.
I don't have to imagine. Sorry, Peter.
Fuck you. I hate it. No, but you know, I'm glad that it's, you know, I'm glad that you're, no, but like seriously, I was gonna say it like tongue in cheek, but I'm glad that you're having a happy relationship.
Thank you.
Because
that means a lot. Thank you.
At the end of the day, I like seeing my friends in relationships with being happy. Because like that girl who I mentioned, my best friend who I said isn't very approachable, but she's like quiet. She's more insular. She's in a relationship now. In fact, she just posted, her and her boyfriend like together posted like their 2-month anniversary thing.
Oh, okay.
And she is in a very similar position to me of like I think she said she's like kissed like one person.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, here's my 2nd anniversary, and that's her boyfriend. Who I have a crazy story about.
What is that crazy story?
I told Cameron this already. I don't think you were there. I was at Cameron's first show, like ever, like live show for Compo No. Their opener, that's their drummer. Well, not anymore. He doesn't talk to them, but
okay.
I like mentioned it offhandedly. It's like, yeah, that was my band. I was like, I saw y'all. Y'all slapped.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, that was weird. And so
that's funny.
Another ongoing joke about I know everyone. I just have connections to everyone, however slight.
It's like 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah. Then I'm always
You're the
center.
missing link.
I'm always the missing link, apparently. Yeah, you know, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm sure somehow I know someone you know. Like, it'll just unnaturally come up one day.
I was telling Todd about you and your project about like going across America and like interviewing people. And I was like, I couldn't remember your last name, and I looked you up on Snapchat, and your last name isn't on there, and I was like,
he doesn't know my last
name. His name is Peter. He has like pink hair, but only sometimes.
Not anymore.
I know. That's how I described it, and I was
he doesn't remember, right?
Yeah.
I don't expect it. We met literally twice.
Yeah, I was like, he's doing your major too, the broadcasting one. He didn't know what I was talking about.
I wouldn't expect him to.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, maybe a lot of the EMB kids are really insular. A bunch of the stand-up kids, weirdly enough, are EMB majors, so they like all kind of know each other.
I was actually in Beasley today. I was helping my geography professor with a National Geographic like video thing. I think it's going on their website.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's about gerrymandering, which is so fun and exciting. Wait, don't gasp in excitement.
I have a weird thing about gerrymandering. I have a book. It's actually right here. It's not on gerrymandering, but there goes my fan. It's fine. It's broken. I'll fix it. I have a thing about borders. I fucking love borders. I have a book called How the States Got Their Shapes, and it's literally, I never finished reading it, but I read most of it.
You're a big fan of gerrymandering.
I love well, I'm not like, oh, we support it, but like I love looking at those maps and seeing how fucked they are. Like North Carolina's all districting.
Yeah.
Chicago, the Chicago area is crazy. The entire state of Maryland, stuff like that. But how's that National Geographic?
It was like there was a big map of North Carolina. It was huge. We were like standing on it, and we would put cones in like they were talking about the census and like how the top 10 most populated cities in North Carolina, how those shifted from 1870, 1920, and 2010. So we were just moving cones and saying this is how the population shifted. I was a cone mover.
Wow.
I was cone mover number 3.
Where in Beasley did you do that, dude? Like, what? Do you
It
know
was
what
on
floor?
the 3rd floor.
Oh, I've been on the 3rd floor like twice.
There are like 2 big studios up
Yeah.
there, and they're using like fancy cameras. I was like, OMG, broadcasting.
And I'm radio, so like I don't.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I potentially will be working in TV, like if they just want me, but I don't.
Yeah. It was a cool experience.
I mean, yeah, like it's cool that like your geography professor likes you enough.
Yeah, I really just did it. She was like emailing people like, please
Oh.
come to this. I really just did it because she said, I'll write you like a recommendation letter, and I'm trying to apply for jobs over the summer. Because right now I work at Harris Teeter,
No.
and it sucks, and I hate it, and I want to leave so bad. And I'm looking at like dog boarding places.
Dog boarding, like.
Yeah, like little dog hotels.
Oh.
They were like training places. Because I don't want to like toot my own horn or anything, but I am the PR person for Animal Welfare Club on campus.
Oh, that is cool.
So I thought I could put that on my resume and be like, I care about animals. Let me work with them.
I have to like do that for studying abroad. I have to get a recommendation letter.
Oh, okay.
My communication, my Com 1200 teacher really liked me. I think.
Okay. I think.
I need to go like see her again because I liked her a lot. We had really not super political differences, but like we definitely had political differences. I don't talk about them, sort of thing, but I don't normally like people who are like so polarized as she is. But like she genuinely was a really nice person, and I think she was very smart.
Yeah.
So
I think those kind of people, they make for good discussions though. Just to like see the exact side of one issue. Like looking at it from this exact perspective instead of like a wishy-washy person who's like, I'm in the middle. I
just hope she would be like, and I'm not saying she would or she wouldn't, I'm just like, I hope she would be like respectable.
Yeah.
Because there are some people who just don't want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like today, there's a street preacher on campus, and he got so boring. Oh my god, he was so boring. But like there were those kids who like tried to fight him, basically. I'm like, dude, like, well, A, he's not actually trying to change anyone's lives. He just wants attention.
Yeah.
And B, like, what do you... Like, you're not trying to have a conversation with him either. Like, you're just trying to one-up him. I don't believe any of the people, even the people who are like, I'm a Christian too, and like, what you're saying is just not... You're turning... Oh, God, the worst is like, you have turned away more people from religion than anyone here. I'm like, I don't like speaking for everyone, but like, I highly doubt any person's gonna go like, I'm a Christian, but I just saw some man on the street. Fuck Christianity. Like...
Yeah.
No, they haven't. Like, maybe people have questioned their faith or whatever, but like, how I questioned my faith was not from some random street preacher. It was how I was raised.
Yeah. We have a guy he's on my hall in the L, I won't say his name, but there's like a Christian group, and he came into app as like Jewish, like that's him, like that's in his like little Instagram bio. And they converted him. He's Christian now.
Whoa.
They baptized him.
Whoa.
It's like
weird.
a cult. It's kinda scary.
I don't want to look at it like that, but it is kinda like...
Yeah. I mean, you have to think that he has autonomy in this.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
can make his own decisions, but at the same time, it's...
Like, what changed?
I think it's because he was, like, not an outcast, but, like, he was looking for, like, a group, and they gave him that group.
There are some... I actually was almost... I'm glad...
Were you almost converted?
No, not... Because that's why we aren't... Well, she's also... I'm gonna stop that sentence. But... There is a girl in my hall who is probably one of those people, basically, and we are not friends. And I think one of the, like, we never talked about it, but one of the tacit things of why is because, like, I don't have much qualms with religion, like, as a construct or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to be religious. Like, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And there was this... I don't care. No, because I'm not saying her name. There's a guy who lives across from me, who... First of all, this was a dick move because I was just hanging out with him. It was the beginning of the year. I was trying to be friends with everyone in the hall just to get them. So it was me and this guy like hanging out. She like came in because they were kind of friends, and she literally would not let me talk. She was just, and it was like she kept like pressing him about. I'm not talking about why or anything because that's his business and it's very serious.
Yeah.
But he was like, there are reasons why I don't believe in. And he was like, I was very religious, but there's a lot of things that's happened in my life that just don't let me believe in a God or whatever. And she was like pressuring him, and I was uncomfortable.
Oh,
and
that's
like,
so weird.
and I don't think she wanted me to get a word in. A, because at that point we weren't friends anymore, and B, because I think she would. I wasn't even gonna try and be like, oh, don't like, don't. I would have just said like, here's my opinion as a person who comes from a similar walk from you, person I won't say the name of, dude. And I'm just like, I my only thing is like when people say like I'm just like trying to show like my opinion. Like I get it, but like you're not.
Yeah.
Like and I, like it's all I'm not even trying to be like that's good or bad or whatever, but like don't front like you're not trying to like have more people. Like you're a lot of especially people like her, like your whole mission is to like spread the word and like gain more followers and stuff like that. Like like that's how religion works. Like but like don't front like you're just like I'm just saying what I believe. No, man, you want him to come to Jesus.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't because I wasn't raised religious. I went to like church sometimes with like my distant relatives whenever I would be over at like my cousin's house. But like, I don't know anything about it, and I really don't care that much about. It just makes me so uncomfortable when people are like, "Have you found God?" Like, leave me alone. I'm trying to eat.
Yeah, man. Like man, I'm trying to find an extra $2 to pay for gas. Like It's it's so weird. Speaking of me like realizing what it means to be like just how college helped me like realize that like cement my sexuality is not a big deal. College also got me really used to people who weren't raised religiously because that I've literally never met a single person ever once in my entire life who was not raised religiously.
Really?
And then here I've met like a few, and it's just like a big deal because it was just like. I mean, I know they exist, but like, whoa, cool. Because like,
it kind of sucks because like there are a lot of like biblical allusions like in English class or something.
Yeah, I don't get them.
I don't understand them. Like people are like Adam and Eve, and I'm like, who is that?
I actually have a weird. I love like.
No, I like it. I think it's cool.
The
it's
Christian myth, the Christian mythos is kind of cool.
There's just like there's such a learning curve there, and I just like was not raised with like any of that knowledge. So they're talking about like David and Goliath. I'm like, which one is the lion? I don't.
There's
know.
no lion.
Wait, what's the lion story?
That's Daniel in the lion's den.
Exactly. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I had to fish for.
I don't.
I was going through.
Anything.
I was going through like Veggie Tales, if you know what that is. I was literally going through Veggie Tales episodes.
Seen a couple Veggie Tales. So I don't know anything. So.
I mean, I barely do. I like don't remember as much as nearly as I should with religion. Like, I mean, I stopped caring, but I still had to go to church. But like, I stopped caring for religion when I was like 14. I remember I considered myself. I still do. On House, I mentioned it. There's a character played by Jennifer Goodwin, I believe her name is Jennifer Goodwin, the person.
Is that a fire alarm?
No, if it picks up, it doesn't matter. It's just if you keep the door open for 30 days.
Okay.
It's that. But Jennifer Goodwin, I think, who was the lead in Once Upon a Time too, but she was a character on House before that.
Okay.
She has like this cool idea where she was like, I don't know. I was literally just watching. I'm watching that episode now. I didn't finish it. She said she was like, I don't know if there is or isn't a God, but like if there is some sort of higher power, it's so high up that we're just not capable of understanding it. It's
is she agnostic?
She. On like Wikipedia, like the character wiki pages you can find, they like consider her a deist. Which is like a person who believes in a higher power but isn't religious.
Okay.
And she was like, it's like asking penguins to concern themselves with nuclear physics. Like it's not only not relevant to their lives, it's just not gonna make sense. And I was like, that is like that. Is
that what you are? Is that?
I get like to me.
Okay.
I totally believe there's like forces at play, but I'm not the type of person who I literally can't convince people. It's a personal reason why. I cannot convince people why I believe that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not even certainly sure, but like I kind of have a feeling, but like I don't think I could ever understand it.
Yeah.
It's just like I've seen the way the universe works. Like I don't believe in like my best way of explaining it is I don't believe in coincidences. Like the fact when you have to ask yourself, was this a coincidence? Is the universe telling you it wasn't a coincidence? That doesn't mean there's anything that's going to happen for it, but for some reason the universe wanted this instance to happen.
Yeah. I like to believe everything happens for a reason.
Sort of thing, yeah.
I like that. I don't know if that's tied to religion, but I don't know, helps me get through the day.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I have to look at myself and like say like, oh yeah, this sort of thing happened for a reason. Like, but oof, I spaced out because there's another thing I wanted to talk to you about and I totally blanked.
Like a separate topic?
Yeah.
From religion?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to talk about religion with you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know how much I want to get into it because like I kind of think we said everything that we needed to say, and I'm trying to avoid talking this, but like it was weird. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, you're really approachable. You're definitely one of the more approachable people who understands. I don't like talking about like politics and whatever, but like we totally, maybe not completely. No one is ever gonna completely, but we totally see like eye to eye mostly on like being so like almost like painfully middle of the road sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
it's hard. It's hard for me. Like if somebody brings up a good point from like an opposite viewpoint that I have to take that into consideration. Like I think it's so dangerous to just build up these walls around yourself and not let other information get in. Like if you're just looking for what you want to see, that's such a dangerous mindset to have. Like just everyone, you need to listen to everything and weigh everything equally.
And I think a lot of the people who say that like don't.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, I don't see your opinions ever changing like at all. Like these three people in my public speaking class are like really religious. They're kind of annoying about it. I was like no one cares. Like I come from a perspective of faith. I'm like I don't care. Sorry, like it's just like that means nothing to me. Like to me, and it means nothing logically. Like make an argument.
Yeah.
But like I'm like I can give you all the reasons in the world why I don't want to be religious, but like at the end of the day, you're still gonna want me to be religious, sort of deal.
Yeah.
So, like, there's like a sentence. There's like a phrase. It's like, those who are in the middle of the road are the ones who are gonna get run over, sort of deal. And that's how I commonly feel about everything. That's why I don't talk about them.
I don't know. It kind of sucks because I feel like sometimes it comes off that I don't have like opinions about anything.
You definitely do.
Which isn't true. Yeah. I mean, I like debating and stuff like that, but I think I just don't want to be the type of person that just doesn't listen to other people and is just stuck in their own ways. Like it's so important to listen and to gain new insight and perspective, like things that you haven't thought of before.
I think people, and this is maybe a controversial opinion, I just came up with it. I think people are so focused on debating, they're not focused on listening.
Yeah.
Like
I agree with that.
Online, there's like this person I follow. I'm so afraid because there's this one person who I totally follow. She's like very left leaning, but like, she definitely has like some weird like countercultural opinions. Some of which I agree with. Actually, most of hers I agree with. But there's another person who similar way, but very right leaning. Okay. I follow both of them on Twitter. Don't really agree with her, but the original one, yeah. And I'm like afraid to interact with her on Twitter because I have a few of my friends, and I'm like, she has very particular opinions on like certain things that I'm upset that they might say something about. But my thing is like, the one thing I can confidently say with a lot of politics is like, I do like marking on people who are just way too in it and they say stupid things because of it. So like, but I'm afraid that comes off as like, oh, I don't respect having political opinions. I'm like, no, I do. It's just like, in psychology, there's a phenomenon known as group polarization, which is an easy thing to agree with. But basically, here's a good example of it. Group polarization is when there's a lot of people in a group who agree on one thing, but there are a few outliers who may have not competent opinions or might be complete outliers whatsoever. As the group continues progressing as a community or whatever, an interacting cycle of people, the polarized people will either be completely shut out or most likely adopt the same beliefs, and they'll grow stronger in their beliefs, more radical, if you will.
Yeah.
And I guess like a weird example, maybe, I don't know the situation, was like that Jewish kid.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I try. That's why I don't engage.
That's kind of like the symbols conversation that we were having. Do you remember?
Yeah. Did you go refresh our mind?
Can I bring up the community word?
I actually think I mentioned this on an episode, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So we were talking about how Peter doesn't like the word community in the context of the LGBTQ plus community.
Any time, but from personal experience, but being gay, but like any community. Yeah. I just refrain from using that word.
So
personally.
So we were talking about that in my communications class. It's basically called a symbol. It's this image, this word, this term that a bunch of people can go under, and it makes them think that they're all thinking the same thing, but that's not possible because everyone is an individual and they all have different ideas. Like with the class example is the Obama campaign, Yes We Can. With anyone who sees that, they can look at it and say, yes, we can improve healthcare, or yes, we can decrease unemployment. So they can fill in the blanks with whatever they want, but they are still under this one symbol, which it doesn't encompass all of their beliefs. It's impossible to do that.
And let me tell you, like, you were the first and I think only person who's ever definitely, like, gotten me to, like, reconsider, like, how I mean, I still have I'm not gonna be, like, a community person.
Yeah.
That's a weird way. But, like, that was the first, like, really, like, poignant point anyone's ever had, because you expressed the flip side. Here is how a similar, not the same exact example, but a similar example, how it works in a good way. Politicians can use it to their examples and hopefully go do for good.
Yeah.
So.
And the book that we were reading was called, I think it's called Public Opinion by Walter Lippmann. And his whole point was basically, without these symbols, nothing is going to get done. If everyone thinks they know the right way to do this, we need to have someone say, hey, here's like a vague fluff symbol, and so everyone can get under it and get something done. And without that, there's nothing. It's just going to be a bunch of chaotic screaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's almost like you have to have a blanket.
Yeah.
You have to have that blanket. Which is why, and that I might just, like, hate being in that, which is why I will always kind of be on the outside of politics. Like, my club, oh my god, I got kind of mad.
Which club?
I won't say.
Okay.
But the only club that you know I'm in.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, actually not, I'm in 2 clubs. It's not stand-up club. So. Here. I have it here. That. Did I tell you I'm in that club?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, I'll explain what the club is after this.
Do they have, like, a Twitter account or something?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to follow it.
The editor-in-chief got me very, very, very upset at the beginning of the year.
Why?
Because I don't... Especially back then, like, that was... My first semester was, like, the peak of me not wanting to engage in politics. Now I'm slowly getting a little more comfortable with it. But he did... Like, I said I wasn't voting. He wanted me to stay after a meeting so he could tell me why I should vote. I'm like, no. I'm like, A, it's way too close to the election for me to even make a confident opinion.
Yeah.
And B, he is very, very, very polarized towards being a liberal. A lot of the editors are.
Yeah.
And I try not to be judgmental of it, but I can't help but be like, that's stupid.
Yeah. That's not his place to say. Like, what role does he have in your life?
Exactly. Like, we barely knew each other at that point.
Weird.
I'm
like
I was like, mind your own business, because I wasn't trying to make it his.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and like, I was gonna be honest, like, was like, no, you don't want me to vote. You want me to vote your candidate. Like, if I said I'm voting for this, even though she's annoying, she's a bitch. But Virginia Fox, who's like very, like, too conservative. She's like a bad person. What if I said I was voting for her? You tell me not to vote, or you get on my case for voting. Like, it's not. You don't want me to vote and express my opinion, and it's a similar thing. Recently, I, like, announced interest in this one candidate who I don't think she's gonna win. I don't. But like, very few times have I seen a candidate where I agree almost on every single opinion that matters to me. There are a few things where I'm like, I don't think that is the right way to deal with it, but I don't really care. Like, these issues, like, are very important to me. She's, like, the only person who's spoken out foreign policy how I like it. And they all got mad at me. She's like, oh, well, she's not gonna win. I'm like, you guys want to act like you're all politically woke, but, like, your idea of politicians, your idea of politics is who's gonna win, and you shouldn't vote for who's gonna win. You should vote for who you think should change this country, because, like, they believe, but because their candidate, it's very likely their candidate that they support is gonna get the nomination, which I wouldn't. I actually don't mind that candidate too much. I just.
But you're gonna vote for who you want to vote for. That's what voting is. That's what democracy is.
I cross my fingers at the very least she gets Secretary of State, because, like, oh my god, just like, she was like a breath of fresh air of what little I know about politics. Yeah. So,
I was really into politics like probably 8th through 10th grade, and I was one of those, I don't want to say this.
So was I.
like the Tumblr like social justice warriors. I wasn't very outspoken in my beliefs, but I was like definitely ingrained in that way of thinking. But I just like think like being in that mindset and having it has made me realize it's so important to not be in that mindset and just like I like being in the middle ground, I guess, more than that.
I'd rather be comfortable. I mean, it sucks that you two maybe would face like little support from like people who you would like to agree with, you know, because everything's so polarized. But like, I'm comfortable at the very least. Like, I'm not gonna change I'm not gonna change my ways no matter what, for something like that. For you know, 'cause at the end of the day, I know I don't agree personally 100% with whatever you're saying.
I don't regret that phase that I went through because I learned a lot about it and I got a lot of different perspectives and just like facts about it. But I mean, facts can be interpreted in different ways. They can really be used for both sides, you know what I mean?
Yes, like, it's really weird when people have, like, two very valid opinions and you're like, can't.
Yeah.
I can't make an opinion.
And I don't like talking about things that I mean, it's not that I don't like talking about things that I don't know a lot about, but I don't like when people put me on the spot and like, what do you think of this? And I'm like, I'm not qualified to say an opinion on this. Like I'm not going to talk out of my ass right now.
Like your women's issues class?
Yeah, my global women's issues class. It's just a circle jerk of Tumblr social justice warriors, which, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad against anybody, but it's like, it's just people saying the same thing over and over again and reinforcing people into this extremist view, which is, like I said before, it's
polarization.
Yeah,
that is group polarization. That's literally the pinnacle example of group polarization. Fuck the Jewish example.
And literally, when I talk to like the individual people, we have group projects every so often. When I talk to like individual people, they all say the same thing. Like, I don't want to say anything like this because I'm afraid I'll be attacked by the group. But it's like, everyone who I've talked to is saying that. So who is this group? Who is doing this? It's like 3 loud ass people in that class.
That was my freshman seminar.
Oh,
yeah, like this one girl who like was clearly overcompensating for like she had some real white guilt going on.
Oh my god.
And it was so embarrassing. And she was like, you know, I'm an advocate. Fuck off. Like no one cares that you're an advocate. Like who? Like,
yeah. Like people in my class, they're like, one girl was talking about how oh gosh, what was it at like the National Mall? There was like a Native American group and like this privileged group of rich white kids were like yelling at them. Do you remember that?
Yes, and it turns out that the story wasn't how it
Yeah, and some girl in the class, she was like, if those were my kids, like saying all those racist things, I would have slapped the heck out of them. And I'm like, you want a fucking medal like for not being like racist? That doesn't really apply in this.
Especially because the real story was.
Yeah.
It was like that. I mean, and you know, it's so embarrassing. Like it literally was like I cringed looking at them, but it was like a bunch of these like kids from a Catholic school who were like, I don't know what, I think they were protesting something or something, and they just were wearing like MAGA hats, which is like so cringy. It's so cringy. But like they were just like sitting there, and like the guy just started like chanting to them and with like something, and he brought like a drum.
Yeah.
And the kids were just like standing there like smiling, not knowing what else to say, and like just like this is embarrassing. And like, but everyone was like, I even was on the bandwagon. Like, all these kids are assholes because I was being told that
because you saw that like that iconic picture of it, and that's like all that you get.
And like that's like, and then and see these people are speaking on it. That's why another reason why I'm so afraid to engage, because like the facts can be presented in such a different way.
Yeah, and it's people are so quick to like cancel other people. It's
hard.
It's just annoying. It's like, what is the right answer? Like, what can you do? That's something. I don't know. This is kind of a little bit of a tangent. We're on tangent talk.
Let's
so
go.
I guess it's okay. I don't like another thing with like the middle of the road sort of thing. I don't like judging people for like anything unless they're like murdering somebody or like hurting somebody.
We have standards. Everyone has standards.
We have some standards. The bar is in hell.
Yeah.
But I don't like judging people because I don't want people judging me, which is I guess is that like a selfish way to look at it?
No, but I definitely I want to agree with you, but it's hard for me not to be judgmental, so I get why people are.
I've specifically like trained my brain, like if I see someone like I don't know, this is just like a superficial example of this, but if I see like some girl like wearing a trashy outfit, my first thought isn't, oh, that's a trashy outfit. It's like, wait, no, it's not. She's allowed to wear what she wants.
Oh,
She
yeah,
has her
yes.
own life. Like, she's allowed to do that.
Very
like,
much the same.
I wouldn't wear that, but like that's okay for her to do. It doesn't affect me. She's not hurting anybody. So like when other people say stuff like that, I'm like, calm down. Like
I agree with you on that. Sorry.
But,
I relate.
No, I get it. That was kind of like the end of my tangent.
It wasn't long.
Just yeah, I don't know. Just like stuff on like different viewpoints too. It's like people think that way for a reason. I don't think you should just say you're wrong or there's something wrong with her or like putting people in boxes too. Like everyone is 3-dimensional. Everyone has something going on up here. You might not see it, but maybe that's intentional. Maybe they don't want you to see what's going on up there. I don't know.
I want to agree, but like I think I've been on so many different sides of politics.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely will be like that girl, like that example, that girl with the white girls. Like there's no like dodging it. She was just like I don't know what she was overcompensating for, but she was overcompensating for something, and it was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
And like I want to not be like, oh, like I didn't judge her, like tell her to, like shut up or whatever because like it wasn't my place, but I was just internally like rolling my eyes. Like I was like, I know for like I don't know, but I believe you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It's just like
not even in like an academic way. Like I see a lot of people saying like, oh, sorority girls, like they're blah 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 blah, and I don't know. Maybe it's like the 9th grade feminist in me, but I hate that kind of language that like just like makes fun of like a group of people. I mean, even if it's deserved or not, that's a whole other matter. But I just like people are so 3-dimensional. Like they're not just like what you see of them. I think that's so important to realize that like you can't stereotype people like that.
I'm trying my best to like challenge myself.
I mean, obviously not like you, but like the general
I got it.
you.
No.
No, I knew you probably knew what I meant, but
I'm trying because like, but some it's definitely that. But I almost roll my eyes even more when someone does fit a stereotype, which is so stupid. But I'm just like when you mentioned the sorority girls, I couldn't help but think like one time I was at like Cascades and like, oh, they were sorority girls. Like I don't know, but they had to have been. It was all of these girls. They were outside of Cascades, like outside. I was walking to it, and like they were just like taking a selfie, and they were being so loud and obnoxious, and they all had their hair in messy ponytails, and they were like taking a picture of them like drinking. I'm like, please stop. Like please stop because like I don't want to think judgmentally about you.
Yeah.
So like stop.
It's
stop
like,
so I feel comfortable.
Another thing that we talked about in my communications class was like deterministic lenses.
Deterministic screens, bro.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. Like you only see like what you're looking for, and that's like if you only see this white girl as this stupid, ignorant, superficial person, if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're gonna find.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna realize anything else about this person because you've already predisposed yourself to this way of thinking.
Yeah, like maybe they were taking the picture just because like they kind of probably knew they were being silly.
Yeah,
and like they were just having fun.
Like their one wild night out in a year.
Yeah, they hadn't seen each other all in forever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You don't know their whole story.
Yeah.
Though I do wish they weren't screeching.
Yeah.
That
Just public area.
Yeah,
calm
please.
down.
Like it's like 11 a.m. Y'all just got the same flavor smoothie.
Yeah, because like if that was me and I hadn't seen my friend in like 12 years and we're having a wild night, like I wouldn't want people to look at me and think, oh, she's a stupid sorority girl. So I'm not gonna do that to other people.
And that is a thing that I think to wrap it back, like I don't know why I'm on self-image talk today, but like I have the whole thing of like not wanting to be like I wanted to like beat people to the punch on my own terms of being like coming out.
Yeah.
Here. I wanted to like I was like I don't want anyone to suspect because I want it to be like my thing and like if I think it's I think it's their information to be privy of, then I'll tell them, but like A, it's gonna come up eventually.
Yeah.
And B, I can't kid myself. I don't think I could ever be like unquestionably like straight to someone's eyes. I'm not gonna kid myself.
Really? Because I had no idea that you were gay.
I know, you told me that and I don't know why.
Maybe I'm just...
Like, not even like a
know.
suspect, like not even just like an eyebrow raise, like, could he be gay?
No.
What the fuck, dude? I even like, I have like the skinny twink body.
Wait, is that what that is?
Kind of.
I don't know gay slang, gay culture.
Kind of. I'm like, technically I'm an otter. I don't use that shit. I don't use the terminology, but like...
Wait, what's a bear?
Bear is like a fatter dude who's like...
Oh, okay.
But there's like two types because there's like dudes who just let themselves go, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
bears who, stupid, who are like they like have muscle underneath, so they're like
Okay.
they're muscular, but like they got a gut too.
Okay. What is there like? Is it all animals?
Like twink, otter, and bear are the ones I've only ever actually seen used, but like
Okay.
I've seen ones like wolf, which is like a muscular hairy dude, like completely muscular. But like
Okay, interesting.
I don't think anyone actually uses that term, not as a joke.
What would Cameron be?
I don't know. I'm not taking off his shirt.
Oh, you have to.
I mean, he's hair. If he's hair, I mean, he has a beard, so I'm assuming he's a little hairier. Probably just an otter because he's not like I don't think he not to roast him, but he doesn't look like the most muscular person in the world. And then there's like jocks, which are like standard
Okay.
muscular guys.
Okay, interesting.
Cameron's gonna like text me like, why the fuck are you calling me an otter on fucking your podcast? I'm like, I didn't want to. She
Otters
pressured
are
me.
Cute.
She pressured me, dude.
That's
Oh,
funny.
Yeah.
I
Oh
forgot
god.
what we were talking about before.
We were talking about self. Well, I talked about self-image because we were talking about like.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask you. What do you think of treat others the way you want to be treated?
It's hard. It's actually harder than
Yeah.
it sounds.
I don't know about like the semantics of it. Like treating others the way you want to be treated. Like that seems like such a self-centered way to look at the
Mhm.
world. Like you like something bad happened to this person. What if that happened to me? But it's not happening to you. It's happening to somebody. Doesn't that matter? Shouldn't that matter by itself?
What it's trying to say, like, treat others the way you want to be treated. If you
Mhm.
take that literally, not everyone wants to be treated the same.
Yeah.
Like, some people want, even like approached on issues, people
Mhm.
want to be, but like treated a little differently.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, I get what it means. It's basically saying like respect each other.
Yeah.
But it is like, if you want to talk about the semantics of it, is like it's problematic. Like, I have definitely asked myself that before.
I don't like when people are like, what if that was you? That doesn't matter. It's somebody. Like, they matter. Like, it doesn't have to be related to you for it to be important. You know what I mean? Especially with, like, the fire in France.
Notre Dame.
Yeah. How so many people are just, like, posting pictures, like, I'll never get to see it, or here's when I saw it. Like, shut up. Have you seen those pictures? Like, on Instagram? Like,
I don't actually have a problem with that because I get
Really?
I get what they're trying to say.
Mhm.
It meant something to them. You know, maybe you could argue they're fishing for sympathy points.
Mhm.
That's neither here nor there.
I think you could argue that for any social media
Exactly.
post ever.
So, I think people are expressing what it meant to them, and maybe it meant like I always wanted to go here, and now, well, I think it's like still intact, just like very heavily damaged or
Mhm.
something. Like, I guess irrevocably damaged. Like
Mhm.
there's no going back on it. But you know,
Mhm.
I would argue it's definitely it means something to them. However superficially we want to say it is.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's I personally don't have much feelings towards it, but it does suck because I know it means a lot to other
Mhm.
people,
That's true.
and like Parisians are really pissed about it.
They're really pissed about it.
I mean, that's probably not a word. They're
No, that's just
very
funny.
upset. Though the one thing was keeping, oh god, I hate memes sometimes. All the fucking like Hunchback of Notre Dame things. It was like, oh my god, all the eye rolls, stop,
Mhm.
stop. Not everything is a Disney movie. Like you can make jokes. Like if you can make a joke that's funny, maybe that it's like worthy of a reference. But like people are like posting, like, oh my god, it was like what's his name, Hugo like crying, and then it was a picture of like of the Notre Dame, and it wasn't like meant to be funny.
Mhm.
I'm just like, this is like cruelly funny to me because it's just like gross. Like
Yeah.
this is not like this is your way of expressing like sadness
Mhm. Through memes.
through like, and it wasn't even a meme. Like it's like made like a meme, but it's supposed to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
God.
Memes are our new terministic screen.
We search what we're looking for. Yeah.
That's true, though. I feel like, I don't know, at least for me, I like to see everything through like a comedy sort of lens.
Yeah.
Like my life is a comedy. So if something bad happens to me, I'm not like sad about it. I'm like, this is a great story. Like that's what I was thinking with the Tinder date. I was like, I mean, this sucks right now, but I can't wait to tell people about this. Like this is funny.
We relate on that to a weird extent because like it does come from a lot of personal compartmentalize issues in my
Mhm.
past, where I compartmentalized them so much, I started telling them as stories.
Mhm.
And now towards the future, when I mess up, I hate doing it,
Mhm.
and like it's hard for me to take chances. I have been getting better, but like
Mhm.
a lot of times I'll tell myself like it's gonna be a good story.
Mhm.
So most of my like stand up routines, which I think I've kind of also given up on.
I want to see you do stand up ones.
I have kind of given up on it.
Really?
I'm thinking of doing the improv club instead because I went to
Oh,
their
they have an
improv.
improv club?
It's so fucking good. They're actually really
Oh,
good.
Cool. I did improv in high school.
Oh, you might join. You might like it then.
Maybe.
They're really good too. They have like a bunch of like people who've like gone on to do like comic like stuff from Noun.
Oh, cool.
That's the club name Noun.
Okay, cool.
Talking about things. Oh no.
No, we had such a good
we were
discussion.
having
going.
such a good discussion.
Seeing things through like comedy lens,
Oh,
compartmentalizing.
Compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
And like in my stand up, most of my stand up is storytelling of like kind of embarrassing things, and some of them are actually kind of fucked up what happened, but like I can tell them through like a joke.
Yeah.
So, I really relate. And you were talking about a habit too. So music's like a really big deal in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I have it on my phone. I was like, if I ever had like the story of my life, I could like put it into chapters, and the chapters are all songs.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
I don't really know. I'm actually in a new chapter, and I don't know what song it'd be because I was on.
Well, you probably have to finish the chapter and reflect on it first, right?
But I
how
definitely
it works?
chapter. I know you don't know what this is, but chapter 6 is Lent by Auto Heart, which is not where I am right now. I've moved on, but I also have like no memories of my childhood because I literally. There's actually an interesting psychological thing that this woman was just telling me about. She was like, she was like, there's a new. We're trying to figure out. We are starting to believe that old people, not counting people with Alzheimer's and shit, but like they're not necessarily as forgetful. They're unconsciously just getting rid of memories that are no longer important to them, and there's fewer. They're just having smaller lives, and it's less important. So they or that are just uncomfortable for them to deal with for whatever reason. And I was like, that is me because I just didn't have a great childhood, and so there's not much for me to remember.
Yeah.
Even before like high school, I remember very little.
That's
I remember
interesting.
very little of high school. Like sophomore, freshman year, I hardly remember what I was like because I just didn't like. I never felt like I was myself, so I never have memories of me being in there.
That's weird. I'm thinking about it. I don't really have a lot of memories from 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. I think that's. Can I talk about something weird for a second?
Sure, I don't care.
I mean, tangent talk.
I mean, I care, but I don't mind.
So I had like really bad social anxiety when I like just moved here, like between 8th and 9th grade.
Where are you from?
And I'm from Tennessee.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. So I moved here during the summer between 8th and 9th grade. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. And it was like high school, which is scary. It's like a big moment, like going from middle school to high school. I felt very grown up.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume. I can't remember. But
I do remember.
It would feel like that.
I remember that feeling like it was a big deal.
But I just had like, I guess this goes back to like the compartmentalizing things, but like I just had like really bad social anxiety. Do you want to know how I got over it? I ignored those feelings until they went away.
That's how I got
I just like stopped. I was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore, so I'm not. And then I didn't.
That is like weirdly relatable for me.
Really?
Not for my social anxiety. Maybe for my social anxiety. I still have a lot of social insecurity where like I just never feel like I always feel like I said that one wrong thing because I have had friends where like I said one wrong thing and they never want to speak to me again, sort of deal.
Really? Well, that's not anything to do with you at all. Jesus Christ.
I know, but it's social insecurity.
Yeah.
But like a lot of my social problems, like even here, like, but like I've found people that like care about me, sort of deal. Though sometimes especially with politics, like I am afraid, like, they find out I'm not super on board with everything they're saying, just not or at least not as strong, like sort of deal. But it wasn't social anxiety that I really relate on with like almost getting rid of it. It was physical insecurity. I dealt with body insecurities literally since I was 7, which like apparently is not a thing for guys or girls because you don't really get that until you hit like puberty, and I was not in puberty.
Yeah.
I can like say without a doubt because I remember being in 1st grade, like just not looking at myself and hating myself.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And I'm not over it, but I don't know if counseling helped or if counseling just coincidentally aligned when I finally have gotten actual progress with coming to terms with myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it helped or we just aligned properly, but like I just stopped caring. Like for real, I stopped caring because I tried like to gain weight. I tried to like look a certain way, or wear a bunch of clothing, like stuff like that. And I just realized I was like, I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not happy exercising. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a small appetite. I don't like eating so much.
Yeah.
I'm just, why? Who am I kidding?
So was the not caring part, was that like you saying like I'm not gonna care anymore, or was it more like I'm just so tired, like I don't care anymore?
Like that. I almost gave up, but in a good way, like a healthy way. I gave up.
That's kind of similar to the anxiety thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, because with, at least for me, how it felt, which it still comes back a little bit, but it's in small doses. And it doesn't control my life anymore.
Right.
But it feels like, for me, you're like wrapped in like saran wrap and you can't move. For me, at least. And I just like physically, it would just like, my muscles would be so tense and I'd just like sweat and my heart rate would be so through the roof. And I was just like physically like tired of it. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I just have to like sink into the chair, just like stop feeling like this. Like, dear God, please stop.
Yeah. I don't know if it manifests like that, but it's always like the fear of something going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And because of like literally one moment in my life, I developed, well, a few, but like mainly like one moment in my life with that friend group who like completely cut me off. Like I have a huge, well, I don't get, they were assholes, honestly. Like I'm glad I didn't, they were very
it sounds toxic,
crazy, way too politically far left. Like oof, God, one of but like I had to like, you know, I have a thing of like I want everything to go right, so if something goes wrong, at least it's not my fault. Like I'm gonna do, but for me, like insecurity, it was kind of like a like saran wrap. It almost felt like I was in like the biggest jar ever, like the biggest, like, do you know what a bell jar is? You know those, you ever been like to a pastry place or whatever, and they have those dishes that go over the cakes?
Yeah.
It's like those glass thingies.
Okay.
I felt like I was in the world's biggest one of those, and for whatever reason, I could never get out of it. I could just keep walking, and I knew there was still a glass wall in front of me.
Yeah.
And so, like, I never could get out.
Did you, like, visualize this, or this is, like, after the fact?
I kind of just came up with the like, you kind of was like, I was like, let me think of how that's how it is. And, like, I didn't break it. I kept wanting to break it. I never broke it. I just lifted it.
Whoa, that's a really interesting metaphor.
I was a poetry kid in high school. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you're ever, like, I definitely speak very poetically because I just was that guy. Let me write you a poem.
Oh, gee,
a girl, not you. Sorry,
oh,
but no,
okay,
I was doing it. I was meant
like a pickup line.
Hey girl, let me write you a poem.
What do you mean, girl?
Hey girl. I can be a fuckboy if I wanted to. They said I could be anything in life, so I became a fuckboy.
Is there like a gay version of fuckboy?
Yes.
Is it just fuckboy?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Or is there like
I don't even use that term. I just use tool.
Okay.
Like a tool. There are gay tools.
Okay.
I can be a gay tool. That's why I had to take a step back. So.
Wait, but you're still on Tinder. I'm so sorry. This is not calling out Peter. The podcast.
I wanted to. I know. I just don't. Like, my friend says always keep your options open, and like,
you can just look at the menu. You don't have to order.
Especially because like I can't look at like, I don't have the luxury of being able to be like, maybe it'll happen, like maybe it will happen organically, but like my experience, it never happens organically. You just have to have. We're so few and far between. We're like 3 or 5% of the population.
Do you think that's an accurate number?
Yeah, absolutely. Really? Oh my God.
Like, even counting all the people who, like, haven't come to terms with their sexuality?
Absolutely.
Or, like, aren't out? Okay, interesting.
Like, 3 to 5%. I maybe could see 10%, because, you know, but, like, I don't think it's that much.
Do you think that number might increase, like, in the future with
it is
being
increasing.
More socially acceptable?
It is increasing. I don't know if it's people like those girls, because there are more women. I don't know if it's those girls who have, like, lesbian faces in college, or like think it's like woke to be a lesbian or whatever, and they kind of just force themselves to do something that doesn't make any sense. Like it's but
am I a part of the gay community for having a lesbian face in college?
Yeah, exactly.
I know what it's like to be oppressed. I'm a minority, actually.
God. But like the number is growing.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
someone came up with like this really weird like large scientific answer for it, and I
Mhm.
was like it was very above me. But I that is one thing I find interesting. Maybe it's just because I am gay, like
Mhm.
finding the scientific things behind it,
Yeah.
observing it in nature and whatever.
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah,
Like
it is.
a nature versus nurture sort of thing.
Well, that, but also in animals, like how they work,
Oh yeah.
because like there are monogamous animals,
Mhm.
um, and don't quote me on it, but a lot of animal species, the ones that are more monogamous, are the homosexual ones.
Oh, okay.
Like I know black swans, I think is one of them. They're like pinnacle
Interesting.
examples.
Huh. I didn't know that.
I it's just weird things you learn when you're
Mhm.
insecure about your sexuality. High school it was a crazy time. Middle school was a crazy time too.
You told me that you played the role of the gay best friend before you actually knew that you were gay, right?
Pretty much, I was questioning it, but I
Mhm.
didn't know.
Yeah.
I had a lot of insecurities already because I knew if I was gay,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have a very easy time with my family or in
Mhm.
general.
Yeah.
So, but I had like a bunch of I was very effeminate, so I
Mhm.
had a bunch of friends and they told me like, we know you're gay, and I was like, am I? And then I was like, oh, I remember I telling them like offhandedly saying, obviously not true, but offhandedly saying like, I'm bisexual, and like they were like, what? And they were like, I was like, yeah, I told you all this. I did not tell you all this, but I just pretended like I did, so I wouldn't have to like have the whole coming out talk.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I was only doing it because like I kind of thought that's what I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, I was questioning my sexuality.
I mean, that's kind of rude for them to put you on the spot.
If they were middle schoolers.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I
That's
hold
true.
literally nothing. Well, I hold a little bit against. I held
Middle
against.
school beef.
I have not beef with them, but just with the situation. Like
Yeah.
it sucks. One of them goes to here,
Oh really?
but I mean, we don't talk.
Mhm.
We had lunch like one of the first days because we were just like we didn't know anyone on
Mhm.
campus really.
Oh my god, those friends.
Yeah.
Like you have lunch with them once at the beginning of the school year,
Never.
you never talk to them
Well,
again.
we'd known each other from middle school, but she went to a
Mhm.
different high school than me. So,
Okay.
but that was it. She was one of them, but like I don't even think she remembers that.
Mhm.
She has a oh my god. So one thing I'm really bad with is eye contact when I worked at my job,
Mhm.
and apparently I looked down and she was with her boyfriend. Like I ran into her, which was crazy.
Mhm.
It was like a week before. It was like one of the last weeks, and she thought I was staring at her boobs.
Oh.
And she told me at that lunch, she was like, I had to tell my boyfriend she texted me between then. She was like, "You're still gay, right?" And I was like, "Yes." And she didn't explain why,
Mhm.
and she told me she was like, "Yeah, I had to tell my boyfriend like you weren't staring at my boobs." And I was like, "Fuck."
Oh. Yes.
I didn't even realize that because like when I make not eye contact, I stare at people's mouths.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, like I was staring at her tits.
Hmm.
I mean, she's
Weird.
got like big tits, I guess, but like it's not.
Can I ask like a weird question?
Sure, okay.
I know like a lot of guys like they give a little glance, which.
Yes.
Do you do that?
With dudes?
I mean, like with girls, like boobs.
Yes, but not just because like oh tits. It's kind of just just like there is a thing there
Mm-hmm.
of note. It's just like oh, not
Okay.
just like a like no. That was the oh my god. I felt that's how gay I am. I just did it to Dara. And then like lip bit on purpose. I literally felt gross.
My neck needs to like go into like a turtle.
I couldn't no, but I couldn't even do that with a dude. I couldn't even like look at like their dick and do it like checking. I had a guy tell me like the one who had to work through his issues.
Mhm.
He told me because he worked in food services and I
Okay.
didn't recognize him,
Mhm.
which is weird because I don't forget faces.
Mhm.
But like he was like, yeah, I actually like you get food from me a few times. I was totally checking you out. I definitely was like, oh.
Oh.
But he was checking me out for a different proclivity sexually.
He was not looking for your boobies.
I mean, yeah, but I can explain later.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Okay, interesting.
it's crazy. Sorry, I didn't expect. You know how long it's been?
How long has it been?
Hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah, ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
We should probably because I think the conversation is
Okay.
actually totally wrapping up. We have
Yeah.
2 more things that come at the end of every episode.
Okay.
The first is a question that half of my guests like and half of them don't. Do you
Okay.
think you're an interesting person, Dara? I think I might have actually asked you this.
I don't know if you did or not. I can't remember.
Do you?
Yeah, I think I'm interesting.
Good.
I think that I am because people tell me that. Like when I came, just a specific example, really quick. When I came home to work at Harris Teeter, I had like 3 separate people say, "I miss you so much. Everyone else here is so boring." Which, I mean, they could have said that maybe because I'm a good listener and I make them feel interesting. Which, I mean, that's a good and a bad thing, I think. But I think I'm interesting. I think I can talk about boring things in an interesting way.
I think I could do that to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've never really tried.
I like making fun of myself and talking about funny things, so the conversation usually steers toward comedy for me.
Lighthearted things.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah. So I guess if you find that sort of thing interesting, yeah.
Interesting people are easy to come by. It's just kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
like everyone is interesting. It's just which click with you and which don't.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, you know.
Maybe you're not the interesting one.
I don't know. I'm coming. It's hard for me to say like if I'm interesting or not. My friends say I'm funny. I don't think I'm funny. Because I'm like, I can't get up on a stage and tell jokes. To me, that's not funny. It's just like.
I mean, some
like,
people are like funny in like daily conversation, but like they can't like perform. But I just mean like with people who say like, oh, this person isn't interesting. Maybe you're not interesting. Yeah. Maybe you weren't trying hard enough. Maybe they think that you're boring.
Some people do come across as office so uninteresting.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I have to agree.
Well, like on Tinder, like, oh my god.
Holy guac.
I had some guy, I think I showed you this, the guy who just responded with LOL.
Oh, I don't know if you showed me.
Oh, not him. Oh, I unmatched with him because I got so mad. Oh no, he might have unmatched with me. That's fine, I don't care. He matched with me, which means he was the last person to swipe. So he was the one who was like, ooh.
Oh, okay.
And so like, I tried my best to have a conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm doing laundry or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't respond for 2 hours, and he was like, oh, that's fine. And then I was like, yeah, I have to do it all now because, like, I literally have no pairs of pants left, stuff like that. And he says, oh, LOL.
Give me something to work with.
Yeah, come on, dude. Or just, like, or even just change, just like, oh, well, what are you doing now? Because it's been 2 hours since I started talking to you.
That's why, like, talking to Cameron and just, like, being friends with him first, it was such, like, a breath of fresh air because everyone else is just so not interesting. And he was, so I'm like, oh my god, finally, somebody with a fucking personality. My god.
Right. I think that's why I was so drawn to him. Because he is that's why I had him on. He's just a very interesting person.
Yeah.
All right. We're on the last part of the episode. Are you excited? Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay. We're gonna... Alright. Where is it? You get to sign the table live! I can move the table, like, if you have a specific area, I can, like, go across the side like Felicia did.
Oh, I don't know.
Or a corner. I can lift the microphone, too.
Is this where the microphone usually goes?
No, it goes anywhere. I'll move it around.
I don't know. I'll do it right here.
Okay, cool.
I have a really bad signature, though.
I mean, look at Cameron's.
His is not legible. Mine's really bad. Okay.
Oh. Wait, what's this?
There she is.
Yates?
Yeah, by
ATES.
Oh,
I was like...
Is that, like, not allowed?
No, it's cool. They all have last names. I was just like, oh, shit. Like, I thought you put it with a K, and I was like, Yates, your last name? I thought it was Yates. Like...
It's Yates.
Yates. Dara Yates. Has anyone said that before?
Yes.
Dang it!
I was just about to make a joke. Ha! I haven't heard that one before.
Oh. Sorry, I messed with the microphone. I hope that doesn't sound weird. Well, Dara Yates.
It's me. Actually,
Dara.
Dara.
Yeah,
Yates.
I was Dara.
Maybe that should be my stage name.
My old friends from high school, and they would get partied. They had like fake names for each other.
Oh, it's
so like,
I have my stage name with an inside joke with my friends was Sarah Bones Jones. It's not funny when I'm saying it out loud. Because it's an inside joke, but Dara Yates, that's it. Dara Yates.
Dara Yates is definitely her synonym.
Yates, yep.
Felicia, her boyfriend, she has the same, like, she has stupid names on her phone for, like, her boyfriend. I was like, what? Like, one of them's, like, something singling ding or something. Rocket Man singling ding or something is stupid. But they're cute, like, nicknames that make no sense are cute. Okay, well, alright, this is the end. I am debating on whether or not I have 1 episode or 2 episodes left because I have someone who really gained my interest, but I just don't know if I have enough time between now and the end of the year. But if it is the end of the year, like if I don't have time for this one person, regardless, my last episode for college is going to be with my roommate, and then I have to decide how I'm gonna fare against summer because my last guest and I were discussing like. What do I do over the summer? I'm not going to be with college, and I don't think that, like, not to roast them, but it's just, like, I don't think the people back home are going to be easy to communicate like this. So, we'll see. thank you all for listening. I hope you have a good afternoon, evening, morning, ladies, germs, gentlemen, bacteria. That was something. Bye.
Bye.